brother. We watch wrestling like it's mythology. Titans clashing, gods of combat slamming each other into oblivion. We cheer as if every punch, every suplex is a literal battle for survival. But peel back the curtain, and reality hits harder than a chair to the skull. Take away the Booker's script, the camera angles, the finisher safety nets. Suddenly, these so-called demigods are just big dudes with bruised egos and fragile ribs. Without the storyline, the backstage, off-camera world is a different arena. One where anyone can get their ass handed to them. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling. Let's take a look at 7 WWE tough guys who lost real fights. Now, before we get into that, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop kick that notification bell. Number 1. Goldberg. Chris Jericho has long said that one of his biggest frustrations in WCW came from not getting to wrestle Goldberg. By 1998, Jericho had been building up a comedic call-out of Goldberg, mocking his streak, goading him into a match, impersonating his entrance, but WCW repeatedly balked. Jericho pushed hard, suggesting they build to a pay-per-view showdown instead of just having him lose quickly on Nitro. In his Broken Skull sessions, Jericho explained that what he really wanted was the greatest squash match of all time. Goldberg would dominate him, but people would pay to see it. He claimed WCW management refused because they saw him as a cruiserweight, and Goldberg apparently backed off too. Eventually, Jericho's disappointment boiled over. In WWE in 2003, Jericho and Goldberg had a backstage scuffle. According to Jericho, there wasn't a lot of interest on his end to work with me in WCW. We had a scuffle, I stood up for myself and held my ground. He recalled that Goldberg put his hand on his throat and Jericho responded, locking in a body scissor and a chokehold before they were pulled apart. In a chat with Wrestling Shoot interviews, Maven would describe it like this: "That was the night the Goldberg myth died and the Jericho myth was born. I was like, damn yo, Chris is not to be toyed with. Jericho's a good time. He's lighthearted, he's fun, but he's also a guy you don't cross. He's legit and he's not scared at all." I just remember seeing them pulling it apart. I saw guys running in and Chris was in the dominant position. Then they separated them and it started again, and Chris got in the dominant position again. It wasn't like it was an accident the first time. Honestly, this might be more about Jericho being the most surprising badass of all time. After all, he didn't back down from Brock Lesnar either. Number 2, JBL. JBL's always been known to bully rookie wrestlers, but we can't say we blame him, seeing as his parents were murdered by a rookie wrestler behind the Monarch Theater. Oh wait, that definitely didn't happen. JBL's just kind of a dick. But in 2008, we got the kind of bully gets come up in story that tends to only happen in Hollywood high school movies. On the Tribute to the Troops trip in Iraq, hurling insults, spilling drinks, and tormenting announcer Joey Styles like he's a punching bag of a Texas-sized frat, JBL kept picking on Styles all week, calling him condescending and even tossing his drink just to show that he can. But Styles, he didn't just take it. One night, with JBL reportedly sloshed, Styles unloaded a perfectly placed punch, blackening JBL's eye and busting him open under the brow. Suddenly, the loudmouth big man was lying low, surrounded by people who'd been watching the chaos with popcorn. It wasn't just about physical strength, this was a smaller, talkative guy really standing up to the heavyweight jerk who thought he could haze whoever he wanted. Some in the locker room reportedly felt that Styles actually put himself on Vince McMahon's radar afterwards, not just for his guts, but for his self-respect. End of the day, Styles didn't just silence JBL, knocked him down in front of everyone, made a pretty clear statement about who's not a punchline. Number 3, Batista. Picture this, it's 2006 and Batista and the rest of the fellas are shooting a SummerSlam commercial. Before you ask, no, this wasn't the SummerSlam commercial where Batista did some breakdancing, although that's classic. During the shoot, Batista strolled in like he was the king of SmackDown until Booker T showed up to remind him who paved the way. According to reports, Batista casually mentioned that he had nobody to work with on SmackDown, and in Booker T's mind, that was the height of disrespect. Suddenly, it's not a video shoot anymore, it is a street fight. Booker confronts Batista, tempers flare, and before you know it, they are trading real punches. Kurt Angle later showed up after the dust settled. He said he saw Booker with a nasty black eye, while Batista's face was all scratched up. Angle thought none of it had to happen, just a big misunderstanding that blew up into a brawl. Booker, ever the philosopher, later doubled down, saying, "Respect isn't a right, it's a privilege." he told WWE. And yeah, after all the blood and bruises, they patched things up because nothing says professional locker room like a real fight, a heartfelt apology, and then back to filming promos. But the prevailing wisdom was that Booker had gotten the best of Batista, and then Batista should watch his mouth going forward. Number 4. Vader. Oh, so you thought that Vader, the masked monster, the bruising mastodon, the guy that roughed up half of WCW was untouchable? Well, think again. In 1995, backstage in WCW, the legendary Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff decided that maybe showing up late deserved more than a snarky promo. It deserved a beatdown. Here's how it allegedly went down. Vader rolled in late to a center stage TV taping, conveniently taking pictures for Bischoff at CNN. Orndorff gets fired up, corners him, and starts yapping, maybe rehearsing for a promo, maybe channeling his inner drill sergeant. Witnesses, and yes, we had witnesses, say that Vader slapped Orndorff first. Orndorff, perhaps chuckling, doesn't yo-yo away. He pops up, winds one good shot with the crippled right hand, and drops Vader cold. And if you thought that was it, nah. Orndorff, who was reportedly wearing sandals, rough-kicked Vader's face again and again. Nick Patrick, the former WCW referee, claims he had to physically pull Orndorff off of Vader. Arn Anderson said that Orndorff kicked Vader 5, 6, 7 times with flip-flops on. Vader later said he was worried about his job and didn't go all in because Orndorff was an agent. The aftermath, Vader's face was brutal. According to Anderson, the big man was hauled to his hotel room looking worse for wear. In short, Orndorff didn't just win, he dominated. We're going to reiterate this once again. He did this all while wearing flip-flops. Number 5, the Dynamite Kid. Tom Billington wasn't just tough, he wasn't just mean, he was a certified backstage terror. The kind of guy who treated ribs like a blood sport and acted like the locker room belonged to him. Most wrestlers respected his in-ring skill. I mean, he legitimately brought modern cruiserweight wrestling to the forefront, and they also respected his legit shooter background. They also respected staying far, far away from him unless they enjoyed being stretched, slapped, or humiliated for sport. Enter Jacques Rougeau, a second-generation babyface from Canada, who Dynamite apparently decided would make an excellent chew toy. After weeks of Dynamite's bullying, Rougeau fought back in real life. One day backstage, Jacques approached Dynamite, smiled politely, and absolutely drilled him with a sucker punch using a fist loaded with quarters like he was cosplaying a 1980s arcade machine. Dynamite dropped, the bully got bullied, and suddenly Jacques Rougeau, the same guy who'd go on to become the Mountie, became the unlikeliest tough guy on the roster. The best part, Dynamite, the same guy who struck fear into everyone, never was able to retaliate. According to Rougeau, even the British Bulldog's infamous reputation couldn't stand up to the fear of Vince not wanting a full-scale backstage war. So in the end, one of wrestling's scariest men was laid out not in a match, not in a shoot fight, but by a well-timed punch and about $3.50 in pocket change. Hey, sometimes justice jingles. Number 6, Roddy Piper. WCW Slamboree hadn't quite gone according to plan. The match, which featured Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, and NFL star Kevin Green squaring off against Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Syxx, was supposed to start off slow, but Piper came out fired up and threw off the flow of the entire event. Later backstage, things got out of hand. Piper, ever the rowdy legend, isn't happy. He thinks Nash and the NWO cronies are steamrolling everyone, telling the owners how to run the place. According to Piper, Nash barged into his dressing room, kicked the door open, and demanded, "What, you think you're running things around here?" That's when things go nuclear. Piper says he charged him, leg dived him, and threw him out of his own room. But Nash has his own version. He claims he was ready for the tantrum, saw Piper lunge, and laid him out with a calm but firm open-handed slap. According to him, "I just smacked him. I knocked him down, and he didn't want nothing to do with me." Of course, this isn't just backstage drama. Over a decade later, Nash went off on Twitter, calling Piper a deranged old fool and doubling down on that slap. Sean Waltman, Syxx, backed Nash up, claiming Piper was lying, and Nash's slap genuinely knocked him down. It's vintage wrestling ego warfare. You've got an aging icon claiming he threw the big dude out of his own room, and Nash, a hulking 7-footer, saying he tapped into some Click-era alpha energy and smacked him flat. And from most accounts, Nash is the one telling the truth. Either way, it's a locker room moment that's way more interesting than anything those two were capable of doing in the ring at that time. Number 7. Sid Vicious. If you ever needed proof that real life is sometimes better booked than television, look no further than the legendary Sid Vicious versus Brian Pillman scuffle, a fight that somehow ended with a 300-pound monster losing to a guy half his size and twice his attitude. The whole mess went down during the early 90s when Sid was in WWE and made the mistake of mouthing off to a 5'10" lunatic with a mullet and a complete lack of self-preservation instinct. There are several sides to this story, so we're going to go with the one that is the most entertaining. Apparently, Sid was bragging about how the WWE was so much better than WCW and made a point to call out that smaller wrestlers wouldn't be put into feuds with larger wrestlers. As you could imagine, Pillman took exception to this. Eric Bischoff once said Pillman had the biggest set of balls in the locker room, and this incident is Exhibit A. Pillman supposedly rushed him, things got heated, and Sid, the man once billed as the master and the ruler of the world, found himself getting his ass handed to him by a cruiserweight. Later, Sid reportedly stormed off and returned with a squeegee like it was Excalibur. Yeah, a squeegee. The locker room laughed about that for years. You could just picture him holding a window cleaning tool like it's a friggin' claymore. Pillman didn't just win the fight, he won the legend. And in the end, Sid's got the size, but Pillman got the story. And in wrestling, that's the only victory that matters. Well, there's our list. Can you think of any other big WWE wrestlers who lost real-life fights? If so, please let us know in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and super kick that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.